Good morning. My name is Ray Salazar, and this is Morning Reel, a film review podcast that goes from 3 minutes to the running time of Showa. If y'all know what you know how long that is, then pretty freaking long. I'm excited to review this film. I never thought I would review it, but as a '90s kid, it's kind of mandatory. I grew up watching this film. This film came out in 1996, directed by Danny DeVito of all people. Can you believe that? The guy who played the Penguin, the guy who's in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and much, much more. He directed Matilda, which is a '96 fantasy comedy film that was not only directed by him, but it was also co-produced with a screenplay written by Nicholas Kazan and Robin Swicord. It's actually based on a '88 novel. I didn't even know that. Didn't know that at all. The novel was written by Roald Dahl. This film stars Danny DeVito, who also plays two roles in a weird way. He plays a narrator that has nothing to do with the story, and the character who plays the dad of Matilda. We got Rael Perlman, Embeth Davids, Pam Ferris, and Mara Wilson. Mara Wilson being Matilda. This film was edited by Lindsay Klingman and Brent White. Cinematography by Steven Shkapsky. A weird name. Not a weird name. Music by David Newman. I didn't even know David Newman made this music. And the music's great in this film. It's very uplifting. Obviously, it caters towards, the young generation, kids, preteens, even teens and adults, I guess. But this is a family film in a sense. Music by production companies, TriStar Pictures and Jersey Films. Dang. Remember TriStar? Is it even still around? Nope. Either way, I'm going to talk about this film very briefly. I mean, I saw it when I was a kid when it came out in the theater. I remember going there. I remember being at a Pacific theater or whatever. Even as a kid, I enjoyed it and I understood it in some sense, in some aspect. I understood the fact that this kid had a supernatural ability to move things with her mind. And at first, it would be you know, it would be conduced through anger. But as time goes by, when she spends her time with, I guess, the right people, getting a positive influence in her life, because throughout her whole life, she is surrounded by negativity. She's surrounded by scumbags. The way you would grow up in a household like the Wormwoods, I mean, good luck, dude. I mean, I don't know how her older brother, I don't know how, like, you're lucky that kid is still, like, alive and functioning because, goddamn, I mean, any other parent wouldn't live the way like that. Or actually, any good, responsible parent wouldn't live like how they live, you know? It's crazy. These guys, they just don't give a crap about society. They give only a crap about themselves. And it is so true to the statement because in some weird way they don't really care about each other. They only care about themselves, but they are a family and in a weird way they get it at the end of the film. And that's the thing I kind of don't like about this film, Matilda, is the fact that, I mean, it's not supposed to be serious, but there are serious situations there. I mean, we forget that these films are written by adults, and these adults are obviously influenced by all kinds of stuff that relates to childhood, teenhood, and the development of that stuff. For it to come out at the time that it did, it's pretty ballsy. How kids are now, and when you look at this film, it's totally different. Everything's different. The school, looks so old school. Looks like it's something from the early 1900s or even late 1800s. Very traditional. And this film tackles traditionalism in a sense, like the nuclear family. You got the mom, dad, brother, daughter, one happy family, right? Not for the Wormwoods. They twist it, but it is later reintroduced by Miss Honey, who herself never got the childhood. She never grew up the way that I feel like she would want it to. Like her parents weren't around when she was a kid, and then she got raised by her aunt, who's, I mean, she's a piece of crap, dude. I mean, you'll see it in the film, and it's crazy how this information comes out because it's not like they don't just tell you, they don't just show it to you. It develops over time. So by saying that, they wrote a pretty solid script. I think more of the problems rely on the visuals or how they tackle certain scenes. Daniel DeVito's visual style is weird, to say the least. He goes everywhere with his camera. Like, he'll literally go in your face where you can see the pores coming out of the chin, the cheeks, anywhere around the mouth area. It's just like sharp as fudge. I don't remember ever noticing that stuff as a kid, but me noticing it now as a film nerd, seeing all those kinds of visuals, you got low angles, you got Dutch angles, which is really weird to see in a movie like this. Like, you wouldn't, I just don't see a Dutch angle like being chosen for a film like this, but he did it. And in a weird way, he kind of makes it work. It makes the film interesting. It makes me think, it makes me want to know what other angles he's going to be working with. Screw the story for a second. Just the visuals alone. Like, if you were to just watch the film without any sound, it's already a visually interesting film because even the production design, as far as like costumes, the sets, it has its own tones, which is what I was going to mention right now. Like, because of that, and the colors as well. Let's not forget the colors. Like the Wormwoods, they got a certain way they dress, especially the father, played by Danny DeVito, and the mother. They got their own style. You can tell it's, at least for the mom, it's like a throwback to the 80s because putting all kinds of stuff in her hair, all kinds of oils and treatments, quote unquote, that at the end of the day, what's she going to do with it? She doesn't really do anything. She just goes out and shop, and she doesn't care about her kid, leaves her kid behind. Matilda has to fend for herself, basically. In some weird ways, it's meant to be, right? Because if you're determined in this world to not only succeed or to be the best that you can be as a person, regardless of your age, you're going to advance no matter what. And as advancement as Matilda is, she understands that if she wants to get by in this world, you got to do things yourself if needed. And she does it, and you can see it. And obviously, this was never happened in the real world. Like, if you saw a little girl walking down the street, people are gonna ask questions, man. And then she's not holding nobody's hands, and the librarian notices her coming every day, and doesn't ask. You know, cons in the script. But then it's a family film. It's a kid's film. Should we care about that stuff? Yes and no, because when parents look at this, I'm sure there's some parents who are gonna be like, "The hell? What's this kid doing alone? The hell? What are these parents leaving their kid alone?" Like, ah. But I mean, the stuff with Matilda being home alone. I mean, it works for the script. It really does because that's where she starts to learn about herself, starts to learn about life, and it's crazy how books kind of help her through that. She hates TV, but the other stuff like getting by, sneaking out, like I don't see that working. But nonetheless, I enjoy this film. What I got out of the film is that, you know, to gain happiness, to find your place in life is hard. And sometimes we go through the rest of our lives, well, through the rest of our lives to find that. And if we're lucky that there's one person who makes us feel like we belong, makes us feel like we're normal. I mean, we're all normal, but like to make us feel normal, that's the prize. That's the goal line. It's all we want. Matilda gets it. Miss Honey gets it. The Wormwoods get it. If you see this film, you know what I mean. Please watch this film. I'm not saying it's an important film to watch, but it's a very interesting film. Danny DeVito did a good job. He's great as a narrator because when you listen to him talk, you can tell that he's not choosing any sides. He's just simply helping us. Well, he's simply telling a story, adding information. He's making sure that we are sympathetic, if not empathetic. And it's pretty strong for somebody to accomplish, and he accomplished it in some weird way. Would I review the new Matilda film? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't like remakes. I don't like reboots. I mean, the Star Wars franchise alone, golly, man. Like, I gotta catch up if I want to. I will only review these movies or any movies, obviously, if you email me at officialmorningreel@gmail.com. Send your requests, send your love letters, your hate letters. I welcome them. I read them and I reply to them. Believe me, people know. Follow me on Morning Shot Films, IG, YouTube. Rate and review this podcast. It's called Morning Reel. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Google Play. It's on iHeart. It's on YouTube as well if you want to do things through YouTube. Just search it on the internet and you'll find it for sure. I got, thus far, a big catalog of films that I reviewed, and there's so much more to go. Even with the list that I get from the people who send requests, I got my own list too. I got all things coming for the February month. I don't do any kind of announcements, but here's an announcement. February, yes, I will be doing romance, rom-coms, stuff related to that, especially stuff related to Valentine's Day. So if you see what I reviewed in the month of February 2022, well, there's more to come. Thank you.